Hello my fellow book addicts, Megan here, and time for another book review. Today, I'm going to be talking about The Rose and the Thorn by Michael J. Sullivan, and this is book 2 in the Rhaenyra Chronicles series. So, I have to say, this might be my favorites out of the series yet, both including Rhaenyra Chronicles and the Rhaenyra Revelations. I don't know why. My best guess as to why I like this one the best so far, it's probably because we are introduced to more characters that will later play a role in the Rhaenyra Revelation series. And since I read the Rhaenyra Revelation series first, there are just all sorts of little references throughout the series referring to things that happened in the past. And we get to see more of those things happen in this book. I like backstory, so being able to actually read the full accounts for what happened, I don't know, I guess I just really enjoyed that, and that kind of boosted this up to my favorite. Just the best guess I got. So, this takes place roughly a year after the last book, The Crown Tower, and Royce and Hadrian are still working together, they're still doing their thing as thieves, and they're doing alright for themselves. Royce is still trying to teach Hadrian not to be quite so optimistic and cheery and friendly to people, and Hadrian is trying to humanize Royce some more. And it's debatable on whether either of them is making progress. I still love Royce and Hadrian's friendship. I love the banter between them and just how opposite they are from each other. Just plays off really well, and I really enjoy it. I really enjoyed seeing more of the characters that I grew to love in the Rhaenyra Revelation series, but as, their younger selves. I love being able to learn more and get a look into their pasts, and it makes me feel like I can appreciate them better now. So, there's really not much I can say without giving spoilers, so I'm going to go into a slightly more spoilery bit, discussing, my thoughts and my feelings. And I will say now, before I go into that bit, for those who are reading the prequels before the Rhaenyra Revelations series, I'm definitely going to be able to avoid doing spoilers for Rhaenyra Revelations, so no need to worry about that. If somehow I let something slip and I don't realize it until I go into editing, I will post some sort of warning to let you know in advance, because spoilers are evil and I hate them. Okay, so with that, let's go into a more spoiler bit and discuss. So, like I said in my non-spoilery bit, Royce and Hadrian are still traveling together. They're actually on their way back to Medford to visit Gwen. Because it's been a year since, they saw her and she saved them and protected them from the law and all that. And Royce really wants to go and see her. And can I just say, I ship them so hard, it is actually painful. So on their way to Medford, they run into an interesting character known as Albert Winslow, and he is a viscount. Unfortunately, he only has a title. He has no land, no holding, and during this encounter, they kind of together hatch this little scheme. Winslow might be able to hook them up with some pretty impressive jobs with nobility. Because, nobles would happily pay a good chunk of money to save themselves from public humiliation, or to humiliate a rival. So you know what, they figure, why not? Let's give this a shot. If we can make some easy and good money, why not? So they have Winslow come along because they will need him to be a liaison between them and the other nobles. Alright, so some of the other characters we meet are Hilfred and Arista and Alaric. And we are introduced to a few more, but these are the ones that I'm going to be mostly focusing on. So Alaric and Arista are a prince and princess, and Hilfred's father basically guards the king. And because of his connections, once Hilfred turns 16, which is in a few days' time, he will basically become a castle guard. And poor Hilfred, he has such a crush on Arista. It's really adorable, and it made my heart go out for the poor kid. He knows, nothing's gonna happen. She's a princess, and he's basically a nobody. Poor, poor kid. And he has a really bitter guy for a father. His mother is dead. He spent a long time living with his aunt, and just recently, within the past couple years, came to live with his father. His father is a jerk, he's bitter, he's abusive. He's just a guy that I want to strangle throughout this book. I did not like him. I did feel for him a bit because I can understand why he was so bitter. So yeah, I feel for him, but I still don't completely use that as an excuse for his actions. And I really adore the interaction between Hilfred and Alaric and the Pickerings brothers. I love that little start of friendship. I thought it was cute. I thought it was nice. I liked how, they didn't really care about his social standing. They're like, we like you. Hang out with us. So yeah, I thought that was really cute, and I couldn't help but smile whenever they would interact. We also get some setup for what's going to happen later on down the road for this continent. One of Gwen's girls is brought up to the castle for a birthday surprise, and she overhears something that is not good. Someone is plotting to kill the royal family, and in a panic, Rose gets out of the castle and she runs into Hilfred. And they are kind of sitting on top of this conspiracy. Hilfred is trying to get in touch with his dad so that, the royal family could be protected. Everyone is looking for Rose. The search for her is so intense. And unfortunately, Gwen ends up suffering because of all this drama. She is very publicly beaten, and she's not in very good shape. And Royce is furious when he finds this out, and he does find out despite Gwen's attempts at hiding it from him. And oh my goodness. My friend warned me that Royce got really dark in this book. I don't know if I just didn't fully believe her or I didn't think it would be that bad, but Royce is not someone you want to mess with. Oh my god. In this book, he makes people suffer. Gru, the owner of the whorehouse that Gwen and the other girls were a part of, gets very painfully murdered by Royce, as does Stain, the guy who killed Avon, I believe it was, in the last book, as well as the guy who beat Gwen. They're just very painfully tortured and murdered and strung up in public for all to see. That guy is not something to mess with. And this sweet little infatuation that Rose has for Hilfred, I felt so bad for the girl, especially with what happens to her. Apparently Hilfred's father basically kills her in order to cover up what she knows. Because Hilfred's father's not happy with the king for, denying him the woman he loved. And he thinks the king should suffer for that. The king, he has spent his life serving this guy and put his life on the line to save him before. And yet he couldn't grant him this one little thing. So he's bitter about that. So he's actually in and going along with this plan to take out the royal family. And Hilfred, when he finds this, he tries to fight his dad to save Arista and her family. And since he's a kid, there's not really much he can do until the king's brother-in-law, Percy Braga, who we also see more of in the following series, comes in and basically kills Hilfred's father. They can't get into the rooms because they are locked, but Hilfred knows where the key is. It's on his father's person. He always has his keys with him. So despite the fact that the castle is on fire, he doesn't hesitate to rush in. He gets Arista out of there and then goes back to try and save Arista's mother. But he can't. He can't. He manages to get himself out. He's badly burned and he's going to be sick for a while because he went into a raging fire. But he is alive. Arista's alive. The king and Alaric weren't even in their rooms despite what people thought, so they survived. The only casualty was Arista's mother. And my heart went out to Hilfred when Arista basically said that she hated Hilfred for not being able to save her mother, that she wished that he had died, and just the poor kid. He loves her so much. Clearly a one-sided love, but he cares for her so much. And just to have these words thrown at him after he risked his life to save her, just my heart, my poor heart. The king, on the other hand, thinks what Hilfred did was extremely brave. And he wants to reward the kid. Yes, his father was a traitor, but this kid risked his life and disobeyed orders despite the fact that he could be killed for disobeying his orders, but yet he's the only one who went in to try and save his family. So he rewards Hilfred with the position of guarding his daughter. So Hilfred is basically going to be Arista's personal guard. Poor guy. He's going to be constantly around this girl that he loves. And she hates him. And he's not going to be able to do anything about it. Because she's a princess. And he's a nobody. And it's just... poor kid. And despite the fact that they lost Rose, Gwen and the girls do benefit a bit from Gru's death. Gwen ends up buying the tavern that Gru owned, and it's basically going to be kind of a little tavern of her own now. So she's going to own a whorehouse and a tavern, and they're going to make it nice, they're going to fix it up and make it nice and pretty so people are going to want to come in, and she's going to call it the Rose and the Thorn. And the little deal they have going on with Winslow is going to be a permanent thing. He's already secured them a couple of very nice paying jobs, and he's like, you guys need a name. When I am proposing your services to people, you know, you need kind of like a title. I can't just say two guys or what have you. And they come up with Rhaenyra. I believe it was Hadrian who suggested it because he heard it said before, earlier in the book, by Gwen. And Royce is insanely amused by this. And when Winslow asks what it means, his response is, it's Elvish for two. That line just made me smile so much. We end the book with a short chapter of the people conspiring to kill the king and his family, getting all mad about it. They're like, we're going to have to wait a few years now for things to settle down, for people to forget this happened, so they aren't on as high alert. We need to take them out, and this time we need to pin it on someone else. We need someone else to take the blame and not have it seem like an accident. So down the line, you know, there's going to be some pretty interesting action. And I did like how we got a little bit of info. We're starting to get more into political stuff. We get a little insight between the Royalists and the Imperialists. Two different groups of people, I guess you could call them political parties. And we get a little more involvement with the church. I can't remember if we got much of them in the last book, but they're starting to play a bit of a role now. And can I say this without it being too spoilery? Yeah, I think I can. We get kind of a prequel of what might possibly come with these political parties down the line. So yeah, nice to be kind of eased into it a bit more. I love this book. I could probably reread this one over and over and over again and not get bored of it. I love Royce, I love Hadrian, I love Gwen, I love everybody. All these characters are just so near and dear to my heart at this point. I honestly cannot recommend this series enough. It's very quickly jumped up to my top favorite series list. And I am forever grateful for my friend for recommending me this series. What was it, last year? I think it was last year. So yeah, that's it for this video, and I hope to see you guys next time. Keep on reading, my fellow book addicts. Keep on reading.